welcome Pieces Pat Paints. I am Pat. I paint pieces here on YouTube. Yep, it's fun. Well, I mean, it's fun for me. It seems to be like it's fun for other people. So I, just keep doing it, right? If you're wanting to learn how to paint things and stuff, this is a place to be. I do a lot of different kind of paintings, and well, I mean, different types of miniatures. We paint in a lot of different ways. But it seems we paint a lot of models and miniatures, at least on this part of the channel. I do some other work, but it doesn't. It's not stuff that normally people are interested in. Anyway, more like home projects that I goof off with. I don't know. Maybe people are interested in that. You never know. So, anyway, thanks for watching. If you do like what you see, give us a like and a subscribe. That definitely helps. So yeah. We're currently painting a bunch of demons and devils, which is a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with the titles and the doobly-doo stuff, just because it's amusing. And for people who know what it all is, it's and what I'm playing with, they all seem to find it a lot of fun. So that's fun, and that we want to do those things. At least I do. I like having a good time with words. Yeah, some people don't. Some people, they just want to have their ooh. So I figured I changed the camera light. I'm going to see how that works. And let's get this camera adjusted properly. That's been something we're working on there. Yeah, this is way better. Okay, you can do that. So I think I finally got it all figured out on how we want it adjusted in here. Which is nice. Alright, so everyone decided they wanted a blue demon, so we're going to paint this guy blue. Now, we put down a Windsor blue on everything. Now, that's our deepest, darkest depths, and that's after his zenithal highlight. And now we're going to come back through, and we're going to start with a little bit of a lighter blue. This is first you need to wet your brush. That'll help a lot. Just really we're looking for the heights of everything, right? The tops of it all. Just the raised bits. I'm getting better and better at this as I go. I think every year I get a little bit better. The idea is pretty easy. The application is not. One of the things that's really important to remember is that the undercoat is going to change the overall effect. So as long as you're keeping track of what you're doing, everything kind of comes out the way it should. Just kind of trust the process, if you will, right? Now he's got some sort of bone or something on that side of that face, like it's been punched in, and it's been either it's part of a helmet or it's some sort of addition from his plight. This is very similar to what we did with the Asmodeus. And honestly, with all of the demons, we did it with just different kind of color schemes, which I think that's kind of fun. We've got a gray, we've got a yellow, like a pinky flesh, a purple, and then a red, and now a blue. And then the big demon, I think we're gonna do like it's come out of the lava. Now, I was reading on the website for the guys who print this stuff. They have their own little lore stuff, so we may start talking about that in the next go round, and kind of maybe play with their lore. At least talking about it for funsies, just to explain it. But all of these guys apparently were made and are servants to the larger demon. Big demons like the mother demon, I guess. Mother and father at the same time. Very demon-like. The key here is to kind of remember where the light might impact it. It's kind of what the zenithal highlight helped us do. It kind of punches through and helps us see a little bit what we're doing. Gives us that, hey, the highlight is here. And it does poke through. It's hard to, sometimes it's hard to understand just what paints do as they dry and how they change the colors. And then without experience, you can really kind of, you can start off thinking it's going to look one way, and then when it's dry, you're like, well, why doesn't it look like it did when I painted it? And it's because it will change drastically as it dries. Now, a lot of people probably already know that, but we say a lot of things on this channel just to make sure that everybody knows. It gets a little bit repetitive, but you know, you watch a lot of Bob Ross, or at least I did when I was younger. I don't get to watch it as much anymore. I'm a dad, so I have a lot going on. But you know, Bob Ross would say the same stuff all the time, over and over and over again, repeating himself. And I'm sure it felt the same way it does for me, where it's like, I think I've said this so many times. They had to have heard it by now, and you gotta remember, well, there's new people watching and all that sort of stuff. So if I do sound repetitive, that's my logic behind it. Plus, sometimes you have to hear it several different times to really get it, or maybe you have to hear it and see it in a certain combination, and it finally clicks in. You're like, oh, that's what that means. Like, yeah. Just very carefully coming over all the highlights. I did one round, and I'm doing another round. Really making sure we don't have any of the gray highlight poking through. Okay, really spiffy. And we can really see, there you go. Thank you, Steve, for focusing the camera. Steve's our wonderful computer. We appreciate him very much. He runs the camera. I don't actually have a cameraman, I just have myself. Not that I think you need that necessarily for this. I mean, we don't know what a cameraman would do besides stand there with a camera. I guess it's an engineer, right? It would be a video engineer. I'm not precisely sure. Again, I'm learning this. I'm trying to learn the video world as I go. And how it all works, how the streaming and all that works. I feel like we get a little bit better all the time. But, you know, it's a long road. As soon as we get that all cleared up, we'll be able to put in that. There's a sword that's going to come right down through here, but we want to get this done before we bring that sword in. Since it's a large piece, it'll be something easy to easy to manage once we put it in. We really need to kind of decide what we're going to do. The official art has him with like magenta, bright magenta weapons, like magic weapons, so they're all kind of lit up. They did that with everybody. And we kind of went more with forged looking weapons. Or the ones he did look a little bit more like energy weapons. Or she did. I'm not sure who the parent is. I don't mean to misgender anybody. And it looks pretty cool. So I was thinking maybe crystal or something like that, because his weapon, that weapon at least, looks different. This weapon, you know, you could put this as kind of whatever. That could be metal as well, but this doesn't look like it's metal. It's not. There's these little. Let's see if it'll focus in. Come on. They're really hard to see. There he goes. So there's like those little cracks or something, which is why I was like, oh, maybe it's bone. Because it does look like somebody stacked some spine on it and sliced it or something. I don't know. My mind starts to run away with itself sometimes when I'm trying to imagine what things are. That's kind of the fun part, right? That's the good part about doing art. You get to kind of decide what you do with the piece on your own. I was talking with a real good friend of mine yesterday about, like, you know, differences in styles and stuff like that, and how there's not really you know, like one style isn't necessarily better than another one. It's someone's style, you know, because he's got a very the style is the very clean, very edged lines. Everything is, it's very well done, and it's you can see all the lines, and you can see what's going on. It's not overdone, but it's well done, so it's precise and it has a style to it, which is, it's a little bit more of an old school style for painting miniatures, but it works, you know, and it works for him. It looks great, and that's what's important. You know, whether you paint things just like me, or you paint something like Sergio Calvo or any of the Golden Demon guys, you know, the big winners. That's all well and good, sure. You know, paint however you want to paint. The key is just to make it your style. Figure out what you want to do, and, you know, do it your way. That's the fun part about these miniatures. And if you don't want to paint your own, but you want to own some, I have an Etsy store. It's linked in the description. I'm not the world's greatest salesman. You'd think I would be, having been a chef. You'd think I'd really be good at selling things, but I'm really not. I'm not I do okay, but I'm not a natural salesperson. I do okay in the front of the house, but there's a reason why I stayed in the back. I'm better at the creating part of things. Which is good, you know, that's nothing wrong with that, right? The world takes all kinds. I think sometimes we forget that. You know, maybe we need to do a little bit more remembering of that. Maybe we need to just a little bit of thinking about, hey, you know, it takes all kinds of people, and maybe we just give each other a little bit more grace. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. I'll tell you though, once we switched over to this, I do like this zenithal stuff. Even if he don't necessarily always go with the way the highlight comes out, being able to see what the heck I'm doing again is really nice. Also, I think, let me know if this light change looks better for everybody. I think this is way better. I'm gonna go back and I might actually go back and watch this video. You know, I don't watch my videos, so. But I may go back and take a look at this one versus some of the other ones to see. Because this light has different settings and colors on it. And I think it got triggered over to a different color. And now we're back on to more like a white light. And I think that's actually better for filming this stuff. I feel like it actually picks it up better. It's always exploding. I don't know why I bother looking anymore. It's not like it's most of the people that I want to talk to like call me or come see me. Or they don't text me during this time because they know what I'm doing. It's so weird, like my whole, as you get older, your circle kind of closes in a little bit. I mean, probably not everybody, but a lot of people's does. And I really like that blue. That's fun. Cruising right along. Some sort of liquid there. Probably from the brush. A lot of sirens, and they're very close. Right outside my window. That's kind of, well, I live kind of out in the country, so like it's weird when I get sirens down the street. I mean, I'm not like the country. That's really close and getting closer. Hope one of y'all didn't call the ambulance on me. I'm feeling fine, dang it. I didn't stroke out, I was focusing. I shouldn't be making fun of that. That's really not nice. I guess this is me. I can do that, right? I can make fun of myself that much. But I hope whoever they're going to take care of is going to be okay. Just to make sure I say that, because like my sense of humor can be a little dark. So sometimes you just want to season it. we're gonna layer that in. Put some disclaimers up. Hopefully they're gonna be okay. That's several different vehicles too now. Like, there's more than one I can hear. So something happened. It's a whole lot of blue. Alright, let's take a break from the blue, do something else. The same motif on all the armor. Oh, golly. Drink a coffee, drink a coffee, drink a coffee. Heck yeah, 23 minutes, alright. We're doing alright, we're doing alright. Now, those might be cops. There's a lot of sirens though. Something's going on in Choctaw. Alright, man, he's got like, those are gonna be, we'll make those bronze. We're gonna give him a bunch of bronze. Anything that's not distinctly bone. Get a lot of bone pieces on him too. Okay. The shield is 100% gonna be bones. This though, I really kind of, because we can do that metal, and then we can do this some sort of like crystal. It'll look cool. Why do I have this old brush out? It's definitely got something in the bristle. When it dries, you can tell. Okay. And center. See, he's got this little design on either side. I feel like we should do the fire thing we were doing with everything else there. Alright, so again, when you're doing these little line fills, it's different on this where you got it where you're doing like big pits or you're doing a whole base. But here we're trying to like put this in without getting it on everything. And your best bang for your buck when it comes to that is Indian ink. It likes to flow. It sits in things real well. Its coloration is really nice. And so you only have to get like the one round of it. You don't have to try and paint it a whole bunch. You can drop these inks in here and boom, done. I keep trying different things, but this is what I like. I'm trying to get the edges as well as the actual bottom of those little creases, because I want to be able to bring those flames up the sides of the model. Because remember, it's three-dimensional. How low do I go? It's always the thing with those pots. They're always, those pots are not fun. For me, anyway. I'm sure some people are really good at it. Yeah, it's even got like a different texture down there, which is neat. Definitely the best bang for the buck is that Indian ink. That just goes white, boom, done. And if you really wanted to, you could put another round on there and it'd be okay. But you usually don't have to. Usually if it looks like it's not white enough, it's because you didn't actually get the ink in the right spot. Well, man, do we want to do like that little center section? I kind of want to look at their art again for it. See, for them, they have it going all the way down. His chest there. Man, I kind of want it to come up into here, though. I really like I really kind of like the idea of flaming that out too. Maybe not quite so much as the rest of it. Alright. We have a small error right here. Take care of that real quick. There's a little bit of Windsor on there to kind of tone down the white, and then we'll come back with the rest of it. Alright. We'll leave that alone. Okay. That's just a cadmium yellow there. I didn't say that before. I don't think I did. Alright, I want to just hit it with a bit of vermilion. Just around the edges. It doesn't have to be super precise either. Maybe touching the inside of it just a bit. There is some texture in there, so if you can catch it, it's really going to lend to this looking a lot like fire coming out of it. Lava, magma. There's lots of things you can read it as. I kind of like this because it makes him look like some sort of demented Bizarro Superman. And now we've got the the kind of the Superman colors, you know. That's kind of a fun thing. Kind of a fun little accident, really. That was definitely not intentional. I am glad we went and checked source material on it though, because it does look a lot more fun with the longer, with the bigger area. I may not have gone that route. I may have been more conservative if I would have been left on my own with it. So I'm kind of excited that I got to push myself a little bit further on that one than I normally would have gone. Yeah, that looks fantastic, right? I like it. I do a little bit more work in that little chest piece because it looks a little bit soft, but that's okay. Not too bad, honestly. Wow. Let's see. So much mold in the air, my eyes are having trouble focusing. I'm like, does feel like it's going down though. Doesn't feel like it's quite as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was rough. I thought my eyes were gonna peel off. I have to maneuver paint around some of these little objects. But always remember to come and finish it out. I have to get around in there like this, but come back and smooth it out. Just to make sure you're not leaving a lot of excess behind or anything like that. Or you start getting strokes and streams that look out of spot, out of place. Oh man, he looks fierce. He's looking fierce. Kind of like the idea of giving him the same armor as the troops there. A little bit more hardened and stuff like that. Plus, we could always gild it if we wanted, if we felt like it needed a little extra pop. Just trace it with some bronze. His bracers look different. I almost feel like we should do his bracers. They really should be gilded. I know in the official imagery it's all bone. But I kind of like the idea of like hell forges, and you know, they have some metallurgy that we don't have. You know, if this was supposed to be grown on them too, they wouldn't have straps. So it's obviously made. There's some sort of smithing going on down there, bone smithing, stuff like that. So. And again, this is the coolest part about miniatures. You really get to kind of decide on your own how you want things to look and what you want to do. It's a very difficult place to get into, and it is really difficult to see what you're doing. I think I got all of that, but I don't think we got all the blue we need to get in there. That's that place we were trying to come through the sides. May have been easier to do this when it was off the base. Now that we're here, though, we better do something about it. Sometimes you just need the right weapon. Tool, right? Oh, there we go. Alright, so I'll move back there now. That's good. Alright. Always looking for new tools. I suppose you could make this. You could just bend one of your brushes, you know, with a pair of pliers to make one. That one came with a set, like a pretty neat little set of brushes. Use the crap out of them. Actually shredded several of them. They're synthetics, so they're not. I'm not a user of synthetics typically because they shred really far and they split really fast. If you're better at taking care of your brushes, than most folks. Than you know, synthetics probably aren't for you. You can go get a regular brush, keep it clean, and they're more accurate. I feel like they don't fray. They last longer. But again, you have to be able to take. You have to want to, and be able to take care of them. Which not everybody's into that. Some people just are not into taking care of that stuff. Like, man, I'll forget it. Just get a cheap brush and knock it out. I'm just trying to play this game. And that is totally legitimate. Get this other side. It's weird that it is both bone and has rivets. Like, it doesn't necessarily need the rivets. Because, see, it's bone. So that way, you know, I mean, I guess these would need rivets to rivet in the metal pieces. If you're going to paint the whole thing as bone, you wouldn't need to, if it was all bone, wouldn't it be connected to something else? I don't know. Maybe I'm worried too much about it. It's just a hunk of resin. Definitely be taking this a little bit further than I usually go. What happens? You sit here and start talking to yourself. Well, Pat, oh, he went crazy talking. He was running his mouth on the internet. I was crazy before I started doing this. Don't worry about it. That's just a joke. Man, but that's real though. People really do be going crazy. Getting all worked up. Treating the internet like it's real life. Don't be doing that, y'all. Spend your whole life stuck in a little bubble. Trying to make people watch it. That would be terrible. Yeah, some people might like that though. That's real. Some people might dig that sort of thing. It's probably not healthy though, if we're honest. Take your time. Get all the base coats in, and we'll start playing around with the rest of it. If I ever have time this weekend, I will mess with it, but I definitely cannot guarantee that I will. I have so much things going on this weekend. That's just Naples yellow. Pretty standard work for most of my bone patterns. I'll do a Naples yellow and then we'll throw a wash on it. And then we'll go from there. Sometimes we have to do 2 rounds of the base yellow color before we can do the wash. It really just kind of depends on, you know, what it's sitting up on and how thin I made the first base coat. And thin base coats are honestly the way to go. It's easier if you mess up. It's easier to fix it. It's thin. Something stuck on there. I kept thinking it was a piece of paint, but I don't think it is. At least it's not any of the paint I just recently put on here. It's just a tiny little... that right there. I don't think you can see it. There's a tiny little dot. And it's real. It's like right there. I don't think this camera is big enough to see it, but if you ever feel like maybe that's, you know, a mistake, you know, just kind of pull it off very gently. Oh yeah. See, now it paints up a whole lot more easily. Smooth. It's everything you want. Finish off this side here. It's alright. Just chunk a little bit of the... That's why it's nice to have a dark metallic to start off with. So you can kind of just drop it off there and get rid of it. Okay. Well, that's a good stop point for today. I'll work on getting all the rest of these bone pieces done, and I'll make a decision on this. I'm really thinking like a crystal, some sort of crystal. And like I said, they went with a magenta. We might go with something else. We'll take a look at it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I want to do. See what I'm feeling like messing with. Do 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 do. There we go. Turn. Trying to get better at doing some of this stuff. There you go. A little bit easier to look at me when that light's not on, right? Hey, I guess. I don't know. Okay, well, I'm gonna go out and get some errands run and do some of those sort of things. Hope everybody has a lovely, I think it's Labor Day, is that right? Labor Day's here. So everybody have a lovely time with that. Fall's on its way. You can feel it. You can feel the change and the slow movement towards the other side of it all. So that's great. I love fall. Anyway, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Monday. Monday we'll be back. Well, maybe since that's the holiday, we might take the day off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be good to somebody. Be good to yourselves. Be good to other people. Be good to someone you don't know. Just be good to somebody. Be good out there. Spread it. Spread that stuff. It's good for it. It's what we need. We need more of that. Less of the, racing to be first to get off the interstate or, that sort of thing. Doesn't really matter. Interstate. I'm kind of guilty of that one. I've done that before. So, I'm calling myself out a little bit on that. Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.